Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Namo Brahmadibhyo Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartribhyo Vamsha Rishibhyo Namo Gurubhyaha. So we were looking at the second Brahmanam in the fourth chapter, where again the Janaka Yajnavalkya Samvada is going on. Janaka and Yajnavalkya are talking to each other. And here Yajnavalkya is trying to reveal to Janaka about his true nature by pointing out that the self is independent of the waker and the waking world, the dreamer and the dream world, and the sleeper and the unmanifest sleeping world, you can say. Okay, that's what Janaka wants. That's what Yajnavalkya wants to teach Janaka here. In that context, we already saw that Yajnavalkya introduced Indaha as the Purusha behind the right eye, who is the one who is the enjoyer or bhokta, and behind the left eye is the Purusha. That Indha itself is called as Indraha, and the Indrani, the wife, is the Bhogya. So the Bhokta and the Bhogya Jagat both were introduced as being Purushas behind the right eye and the left eye. Okay, they are together, they go together always. Like the two eyes go together, the Bhokta and the Bhoktru Prapancha, the enjoyer and the enjoyed world, correct? Those two go together always, subject object go together. In this context, the waker is one enjoyer, waking world is the enjoyed world, or enjoyed objects are there in the waking world, correct? That was pointed out first. Then they both meet in the heart, and then they again create a new world, correct? Through the nadis and all that. That is the Taijasaha was introduced next. And in this we saw that along with introducing the dream world and the dreamer, the Upanishad also talked about a few things. What is the food for them, correct? What is their abode? The abode is the Hridaya itself, Antar Hridaya, within the heart or within the intellect or mind only, they are there. And what is the food? The food is the fine essence of whatever we eat, correct? That is there in the form of a certain type of blood also, it is said, Lohita Pindaha. So that is the food for them. And their wrap or the sheet for them to wrap themselves up, also that was talked about. Okay, Pravaranam is the Hridaya itself, and that Hridaya has many holes because it is like a net. Okay, because all these nadis are going in and out of this Hridaya. Those nadis are called as Hita. Here you can say, see here, Hita Nama, like that, Nadyaha, Antar Hridaye Pratisthita Bhavanti. So like this was presented here, and they travel in this nadi only. Sritihi also, they are Sancharini. So that this whole dream experience is because this dreamer is traveling in those nadis. That's what is coming up as the dream experience. And it is said here that the food the ahara which is taken by this mind is the subtlest, because the food itself is divided into three parts. The gross part is excreted, the finer part becomes the or nourishes the physical body, the finest of that, correct? Sukshma tara, that is the one which is nourishing the mind. Like that, up to this it was said here. The Bhashya also we saw for that. So the Taijasa is nourished by the subtlest part of the food. This comes in Chandogya also, that the mind is nourished by the subtlest part of the food we eat. That's why what we eat is very important, particularly if we want to have a certain mastery over our mind. We also have to be careful about what we eat. That's why the sattvic food and all that is prescribed. And even Bhagavan also talks about all these types of food, even in the Gita. Anyway, so now continuing, having introduced the waker and the waking world and the dreamer and the dream world, now Yajnavalkya continues this analysis, and now he is introducing the sleeper, Prajnaha. So here you can see Tasya Prachi Dik Pranchaha Pranaha Dakshinaha Dik Dakshine Pranaha Pratichi Dik Pratyanchaha Pranaha Udichi Dik Udanchaha Pranaha Urdhva Dik Urdhva Pranaha Avachi Dik Avanchah Pranaha Sarva Dishaha Sarve Pranaha. Like this, here it is being talked about. So here Tasya means this Taijasa only was being discussed before, correct? That Taijasa who is there in the heart, only in the deep sleep state what becomes the prana, because in sleep prana alone is functioning, correct? All other organs, the sense organs, organs of action, and even mind, all of them are resolved, but prana still functions. If the prana doesn't function, then you won't get up, correct? Prana is the one which is maintaining the link between the Sukshma Sharira and the Sthula Sharira, even during sleep. So, in sleep, you become the Prana Devata, because Prana alone is really functioning there. And even here, the interesting thing is, in sleep again, there is no subject-object division is not there. That is also resolved along with the mind and the sense organs. So, you are in a potential state, we have to say, correct? Daily when you sleep, you go into a potential state. And again, when you wake up into a manifest state, correct? You go into an unmanifest state or potential state in sleep. And then when you wake up, you are in a manifest state. That waking up can be either a dream world or this waking world, correct? That also, both are possible. So when you only half wake, if you are half awake, means you go into dream world, we have to say. Ardha Vikasaha, we call it, or half projection. Anyway, so here it is pointed out that this unmanifest itself being devoid of any divisions, you cannot make any differentiation there, correct? This unmanifest state is unmanifest. That means you are the unmanifest itself, we have to now consider it as the totality only. Even though the individual goes into sleep, in sleep there is no division. You are there without any division. And even the potential state is the individual's potential state is not any different from the totality of the potential of this entire world, or totality of the potential of all the jivas. That totality and the individual potential state both are unmanifest only, correct? Even when we talk about the pralaya of the entire srishti, that pralaya state is no different from the unmanifest state which we go into every night, because in itself it doesn't have any division. That's why here you can see that Yajnavalkya is pointing out that once you become this prana, you are the prana of all, correct? Means you become one with the prana. He starts with east. Whatever pranas are there in the east, okay, prachi dikke, pranchaha pranaha, means whatever prana which are there in the east, you become that prana. So you are not separate from that. You are identified with the prana which are there in the eastern side. Okay, prachi dik means east. Then what? So normally when we start from east, your right hand side will be south, correct? That's why it is called dakshina. So dakshina dik, dakshine pranaha. So whatever pranas which are there in the south, you are identified with that also. Then again you turn clockwise, means pratichi dik, west. You face the west, means whatever pranas are there in the west, that is also you are identified with that also. Then udichi, north. Udichi dik, udanchaf pranaha. So 4 directions, all the pranas, you are identified with all of them, because there is only one prana. As I told you, the unmanifest does not have any division. Then urdhvadik, urdhva pranaha, means whatever is up also. So 4 directions, now up and down also is talking. Urdhva pranaha, you identify with that. And avachi dik, avancha pranaha, whatever is down also, all those pranaha. In fact, sarva dishaha, sarve pranaha. So in whichever dik, all the, we talk about different dik devatas and all that, correct? So all the dik, wherever it is there, any prana, you are identified with that prana, means what? You are attaining sarvatma bhava. In this manner, once you understand that you have become identified with all, means you have attained a certain sarvatma bhava, that you are identifying with the totality, the entire potential state. So you identify with that. That itself becomes your body. In that causal state, there is only one causal state. So you have to identify with the entire totality of the causal state. So sarva dishaha, sarve pranaha. So now this is the prajnaha. Prakarshena ajnaha means you do not know anything. You do not have any subject object division also, but you are there just as existence, along with the potential to wake up. And in that you are identified with all. So you learn this also now, that this potential state is indivisible, unmanifest, and therefore in the potential there is only one potential state. Therefore I identify with all, totality, sarvatma bhava. Also you can understand now, because there is only one causal state with which you identify. That means then you are the cause of everything. Like that, sarvatma bhava you attain, you understand that. Okay, in the form of prana, prana devata, or prana itself here is the sutratma, and like that and all name is given. The totality of the subtle world, you identify with that, because in the subtle, when we go into the subtle world like this, there is no division of the bhokta and bhogya. In the other cases, the enjoyer and the enjoyed world are different. Here there is only one causal state. Everybody is there, is resolved into a single causal state with which you identify them as the totality. Now, is Atma then the one who is identified with all this? Means that also is not Atma. Understand that. Okay. You have to understand this. Pratyagatma is separate from even this causal state. The causal state also is only an upadhi. Okay. So that's why now again Yajnavalkya is pointing out this Atma is separate. It is Turiya. It is neither the waker, nor the dreamer, nor the sleeper. What really sleeps is only the mind. Understand that mind alone resolves. There is no sleep for Atma. Atma is alupta drika, it is called. It never stops seeing, or it is never not conscious. Correct? It is always the same aware, conscious being. Whether something is to be known or not, that doesn't matter. It is always the same. Its nature is the same. It is there always as the conscious being, and that Atma can never become an object of cognition also. So therefore, how do we point out? We have to point it out by saying neti neti. So now again, Yajnavalkya, having pointed out these three worlds and the three different individuals, correct, associated with these worlds, the Vishwa, Taijasa, Prajna, and then the Virat, Hiranyagarbha and Ishvara. We have to take like that, the totalities. The Atma is separate from all this. Sayesha neti neti. So this Atma is neither the waker, nor the dreamer, nor the sleeper. Atma is Atma. It is the conscious being to which everything becomes evident. Even in deep sleep, to the Atma it becomes evident that there is nothing to know. I did not know anything, I slept well and all that you can recollect because Atma was still conscious in deep sleep also. It is the same conscious being. Its nature never changes. It is the unchanging, invariable witness in each and every cognition, whether the cognition takes place in waking state, dream state, or of course this cognition that I did not know anything also took place in the sleep, but at the time of sleeping, you cannot recognize that, but you can get up and recollect that. Pratyabhijna is there. Therefore, the Atma is the same. It is in and through each and every state. It is the same. In fact, it is the only reality in every state. Because the states themselves, one state negates the other. One state replaces the other. The states themselves are transient, means they are mithya. Atma alone is satyam. In and through everything, it is there. Even though we call it the fourth, really that numbering also is only with reference to the other three, correct? Otherwise, you cannot give any numbering and all to Atma. Atma is really the waker also, the dreamer also, the sleeper also, in one way if you look at it. The other way you say Atma is neither the waker, nor the dreamer, nor the sleeper. That also we have to say. So, neti neti iti Atma agrihyaha nahi grihyate. So, it cannot be grasped, it cannot be cognized as an object. Correct? It is Nedam Yedidam Upasate and all that in Kenopanishad, this comes very in lot of detail. Correct? So it cannot be cognized as an object. Nahi grihyate, it is never available as an object of cognition because it is always the eternal subject. In fact, it is the nature it is of the nature of the very subject. So agrihyaha nahi grihyate, ashiryaha nahi shiryate, asangaha nahi sajyate, asitaha na vyatate, na rishyati, abhayam vai janaka praptosi iti hovacha Yajnavalkyaha. So now this part, नेति नेति इति आत्मा गृह्यः नहि गृह्यते अशीर्यः नहि शीर्यते असंगः नहि सज्यते asitaha na vyathate na rishyati. Up to this, it is a repetition. Understand that this already came in 3.9.26. If you go back, 3.9.26 also the same thing is there. In fact, Bhashyakara in the Bhashya doesn't comment here because he says I have already talked about this in detail. So he continues. But this abhayam vai janaka praptosi. This is very, very important actually. In fact, Bhashyakara quotes this in many other places also. But anyway, we'll quickly see the meaning of these things. Agrihyaha nahi grihyate means it is never available as an object and it can never be known as an object. And ashiryaha nahi shiryate means what? Shiryati means something which decays or declines, changes and all that. Means Atma never changes. It is always the same. Once you know it as a conscious being, it is always a conscious being only. It never changes. That's why it is Satyam, correct? That which can never be negated, that which never changes, that alone is Atma. So it never decays. It is indeclinable, undecaying. Ashiryaha nahi shiryate, asangaha nahi sajyate. It is not connected to anything. It is not related to anything also. It doesn't get entangled in anything. No relationships. It is not attached to anything. Navyathate. Again, it is not fettered or bound. Navyathate, narishyati. Navyathate, asitaha. Asitaha means unfettered, not bound. And navyathate means what? It can never be made to feel pain. Correct. Narishyati, it doesn't, it's not in pain, it cannot suffer. In fact, that is the logic, Vedantic logic, all Vedanta students should understand. Why? Because you know you are suffering, you are not suffering. Understand that. Because suffering also is an object of knowledge, means it is also anatma. Suffering is only a state of mind. You are not the mind. Understand that. Suffering and all is only at the level of the mind. That is also known to you. Whatever is known to you is not you. So the Vedantic logic is totally opposite. Of course, you cannot go and tell this to somebody who is in sorrow. But the reality is that since I know my sorrow, I know my suffering, suffering also is not mine. Understand that. You are the knower of suffering, you can say. That's all. You are not suffering really. So that is important. Na vyathate, na rishyati. Same thing. Na rishyati means cannot be injured, cannot be hurt. You cannot suffer, you cannot be hurt. Understand that. Because Atma, again, even in Gita, Bhagavan says in so many words, correct? It cannot be cut, it cannot be drowned, it cannot be burned. All that he says that. So this Atma being an aprameya, it is not an object of any sense organ, it is not an object for any organ of action also. So it cannot be acted upon by anything. Therefore, it cannot be hurt or injured or anything like that. So this is what now Yajnavalkya is pointing out, the true nature of Atma as that which transcends the three states of experience. So in the three states of experience, whatever the experiencer and the experienced world, everything the Atma transcends. It is in and through all of them, but it is different from all of them also. That is the beauty here, correct? That is the nature of this Atma. And once you identify and know your very nature, you are free from any birth and death and all that, because you are not even subjected to space-time. Where is the question of any birth? Birth is there only for the body, mind, sense complex. Understand that. There is no birth for Atma. Atma is just existence. It is never born. It can never die. You are that conscious, limitless being who transcends even space-time. You are not in space-time. Space-time is in you. That is the vision. That is what you have to assimilate, internalize. You are not an individual in the world. The world and all individualities are in you. Is that clear? That is the vision of the Shastra. So that is the vision you have to assimilate and internalize. So that's what now Yajnavalkya is teaching Janaka. And he sees that Janaka has understood this. So he says, Abhayam vai Janakaha praptosi iti hovacha Yajnavalkyaha. So since Yajnavalkya has understood this, he has straight away gained Abhaya. He need not do anything more. This is a very important thing. Bhashyakara points out here. Why? Because Yajnavalkya is only teaching Janaka, correct? And once Janaka understood that, he need not do anything more. Is that clear? There is nothing to be done. You have to recognize your true nature as you are. You are already that. Since you are you have wrongly taken yourself as an individual, You think the individuality is real, therefore all suffering. But the individuality itself is transient. It comes and goes. Don't take the waking individuality as real. It comes and goes, correct? It's not there always. In the dream, you can have different individuality. In sleep, there is no individuality. So the first thing you have to surrender is surrender your individuality to Bhagavan. It is all part of Bhagavad Srishti. The body mind sense complex on which the individuality is based itself is Bhagavad Srishti, correct? The whole body, mind, sense, all of these things are nothing but elementals. They are all made up of the Mahabhutas, and all the Mahabhutas themselves have come from the Sadvastu, Ishvara, Parameshvara. Therefore, those things do not even belong to you. You have got nothing to do with your body, mind, sense complex. Stop identifying with that. This wrong identification is the problem. So, any surrendering you want to do, what is the greatest surrendering you can do? Because even the Vaishnavas talk about this surrender a lot, correct? Prapatti and all that. They talk about that. Sharanagati. Now, greatest Sharanagati is not holding on to this ego based on the body, mind, sense complex. Why are you holding on to the limitations and suffering? In fact, you surrender all your limitations, you will find that you are the limitless, correct? That is the truth. That alone is left. Once you surrender all the limitations, you will discover that you are that limitless conscious being. That's your reality. So that is the knowledge. Once you know that, you don't have to do anything more. There is nothing more to be done. You have already gained abhaya. Correct? So you are this fearlessness. You have attained the fearlessness. So again, the fearlessness can be taken as moksha, where there is no second thing to be afraid of. Correct? Or you can take it as Brahman itself, because Brahmavid, Brahmaiva bhavati. Like that also we can take. So abhayam yasmin, like that we can take. Bhayam yasmin nasti, in which there is no fear, that is Brahman. So abhayam can be taken as Brahma itself, or abhayam can be taken as moksha. So now Yajnavalkya says you have become that Brahman, or you have become fearless. Okay, there is no fear based on Janma, Marana, etc. Because those are all not for you. You do not undergo any of the Shadbhava Vikara, and therefore you are free from all fear. In fact, there is no second thing to be afraid of. Correct? So, Anandam Brahmano Vidwan Nabibheti Kutaschaneti, like that. Abhayam Pratishtam Vindate. All these things are there in Taittiriya Upanishad also. So this Abhayam is the nature of moksha. It is the very nature of Brahman also. So you have gained this Abhayam without doing anything. That is the most important point here. You just have to know your reality, and that's it. That is moksha. There is no gap between knowing and attaining moksha. It is yugapad. Okay, it is simultaneous. There is nothing to be done. You don't have to know and then do some shirasasana or something to gain moksha. There is nothing to be done really. Understand that. You have to just own up to your own your reality, your very nature. And then what Janaka, having understood this, he is overwhelmed. Correct? He wants to give something back to Yajnavalkya. What can he give? Yajnavalkya already knows himself as limitless. So what can you give for this knowledge? The Guru is giving you the limitless itself. Then in return, what can you give? So he is very intelligent, correct? He again says the same abhayam may it be for you also. So he says saho vacha janakaha vaidehaha abhayam tva gacchatat. So may you also get this abhaya, he says. Tvam. Tva here is tvam. So may you also attain Gachatat, okay, attain this Abhaya. But already Yajnavalkya has that, correct? Even though Janaka says so, but Yajnavalkya already has that. That's how he was able to teach him, correct? So you have taught me about this Abhayam, and may you also have that. He says that, but then maybe he would have thought, but still I have to give something, correct? What can I give? So he says, Yo Naha Bhagavan Abhayam Vedayase. So the one who, hey Bhagavan, the one who made me know this Abhaya, correct? Abhayam Vedayase, Namaste Astu, Namaskara to you. He does Namaskara now. And that then what? Ime Videhaha Ayam Ahamasmi. So this end he says, now you take my entire kingdom. Ime Videhaha. This entire kingdom is yours. Whatever you want, you enjoy in this kingdom. I have now given you, surrendered my entire kingdom to you. Not only that, myself also I surrender to you, he says. I am Ahamasmi. So he has attained the Dasa Bhava. He is saying, I am your Dasa. Whatever you say, I will do that. I have surrendered to you like that. That is the Guru Dakshina Yajnavalkya is giving. Because there is nothing else he can do, correct? Whatever he has gained is the limitless. Anyway, you cannot give anything in return to that. Understand that. So that is this. We'll see the Bhashya quickly. Sayesha Hridaya Bhutaha Taijasaha Sukshma Bhutena Pranena Vidhriyamanaha Prana Eva Bhavati Bhashyakara. This Tasya is there, correct? So that only he is explaining here. So to before this Tasya, he says this whatever was talked about in the previous mantra, the Taijasa, okay, who is there in the Hridaya, Hridaya Bhutaha, correct? Who is there in the form of the Hridaya also, in the intellect. Once he sleeps, correct? Sukshma Bhutena Pranena Vidhriyamana means one who is supported or sustained. Vidhriyamana means one who is sustained or supported by the prana, because in sleep prana alone functions. None of the other indriyas and mind, all of them have resolved, but prana is still functioning. So the entire, this individual is supported by the prana alone here. So the one who is supported by the prana becomes that prana itself. Prana eva bhavati means that you have become one with the prana devata, the totality here. Pranaha eva bhavati here means, since you have gone into the potential state or causal state, in the causal state there are no divisions, it is unmanifest. Therefore you have become one with the totality, which is also prana. Prana eva bhavati. And tasya asya vidushaha means here tasya Bhashyakara takes as the one who knows this. Okay, vidushaha. So one who knows this, that I have become one with the totality in the sleep. Kramena Vaishwanarat Taijasam Praptasya Hridayatmanam Apannasya Hridayatmanascha Pranatmanam Apannasya. So now Kramena in series, in serially what happens? First, he was there in the waking world as the waker. But from there what? He became Taijasa. Correct? Taijasam Praptasya means he goes to sleep and then in the dream world he is the Taijasa. Where Hridayatmanam Apannasya means what? One who has gained whatever is there in the Hridaya. And being this Hridayatmanaha, okay, one who was there within the mind only, but then he has now attained this prana, this causal state. Pranatmanam Apannasya, okay, one who has attained this state of prana. And what happens to him? So first you identify with the waker, then you identify as Taijasa, now you identify as the sleeper, who is the nothing but the prana, because prana alone is functioning at that time. And for that Vidwan, Bhashyakara says what? Prachidik pranchaha praggataha pranaha. So prachidik. So whatever is there is in the eastern direction, that is called pranchaha pranaha. Okay, praggataha pranaha, Bhashyakara says. Prancha means praggataha means that which has gone, that which is there in the eastern direction, those pranaha. Similarly, what? Tatha dakshina dik dakshine pranaha, whatever prana is there in the south. Tatha pratichi dik pratyanchaf pranaha, that which is there in the west. Then udichi dik udanchaf pranaha, that is that which is there in the north. Urdhva dik urdhva pranaha, that which is there up. Avachi dik avanchaf pranaha, that which is there down. In fact, sarva dishaha, sarve pranaha, in all directions, whatever the entire prana means everywhere. You have a certain sarvatma bhava. So evam vidvan, in this manner, the one who knows that I am one with all, because I am the totality, the total causal form is nothing but me. Evam vidvan kramena sarvatmakam pranam atmatvena upagataha. So this person has attained the self of all, because in the causal state there is no differentiation. There is only one causal state, and you are identified with that. Means now you have become the cause of everything. You are the self of all. So in the form of prana, you are identifying with that prana, which is the totality or total causal state. And in this manner, you have attained a certain sarvatmakatvam. You have become the self of all. So upagataha bhavati. Tam sarvatmanam pratyagatmani upasamhritya. So even this sarvatmanam, the one who is the self of all, means still all is there, correct? As though it is real. But this all also is only upadhi, correct? So this all also is upadhi only. It has to be resolved into pratyagatma, the self. So that's what Bhashyakara, that also has to be resolved. Upasamhritya, he says. So tam sarvatmanam pratyagatmani upasamhritya drashtuhu hi drashtrbhavam. So the seer is only recognizing that I am the of the conscious nature, correct? That is the drashtrbhavam. You are the seer of the sight itself, correct? That's how the Upanishad teaches oneself. So one who is the witness of all, the conscious being to whom everything becomes evident, correct? That's what Bhashyakara is pointing out here as drashtuhu hi drashtrbhavam. Okay. So the one who is the seer of all or the witness of all, and that nature of that witness is you really. You are of the nature of this witness, and that witness consciousness cannot be any object. So neti neti iti atmanam turiyam pratibhadyate. So sayesha neti neti iti atma. So this atma is not this, anything which is known as this. It is not the atma. Whatever I know is not I. That is the basic teaching of Vedanta, correct? Vedanta is very simple. Whatever you know is not you. Whatever I know as this is not I. And that only you have to actually all the time do vichara. That means even the body I know, therefore I am not the body. I know all the sensations in the body, physiological sensations, etc. Therefore I am none of that. I know all the thoughts which are there in the mind, therefore I am not the mind. There has to be clarity in this, that's all. This Atma Anatma Viveka first you do, and then you resolve the entire Anatma as Mithya. You are the only Satya Vastu, and that's it. That's all is Vedanta actually. It's very simple, but holding on to that is the sadhana, correct? That's where you have to, that assimilation is where you have to put some effort. Otherwise, it's very simple. So here, drashtrbhavam neti neti iti atmanam turiyam pratipadyate. The turiya, the fourth. Of course, like I told you, the fourth is only with reference to the other three. That doesn't mean that this is a separate state or anything. Atma is in and through all the states. It is shown as the fourth to only differentiate it from the other three. Yam yeshaha vidwan, the one who knows this, what anena kramena pratipadyate. sa esha neti neti iti atma ityadi na rishyati ityantam vyakyatam etat. So Bhashyakara says, starting from the sayesha neti neti up to narishyati, this has been already commented by me. That's what I told you. It is there in 3:9:26. You can go back and check. Bhashyakara has already commented, so he is not going to comment again. So he has simply said, Vyakyatam etat. Already I have commented. Already I have described that. So now he goes to this Abhayam Vai Janaka Praptosi iti Hovacha Yajnavalkyaha. So Abhayam Vai. So indeed you have gained this fearlessness. And what kind of fearlessness? Janma Maranadi Nimitta Bhaya Shunyam. Means there is no more fear of being born and dying, etc. Because you are this unborn consciousness, which is beginningless and endless, which is not even subjected to space-time. That is you. That is your reality. So there is no question of any Janma or Marana. Janma, Marana and all is only for the body, mind, sense complex, which has got nothing to do with you really. Therefore, there is no such fear. He Janaka Praptosi. So you have now gained this fearlessness. Itiha evam khila uvacha uktavan Yajnavalkya. So in this manner, Yajnavalkya said. And then what? Tad etad uktam athavai teham tad vakshami yatra gamishyati iti. So okay. Where do you go? Initially, if you see here, it was started like this, correct? So where, yes, see, qua gamishyasi, because already Janaka is qualified. He has done his Rajya Paripalana with Yoga Buddhi, and he has done all the upasanas taught by Yajnavalkya in the previous Brahmana. Therefore, he has Chitta Shuddhi and Chitta Naischalyam. Such a person who is also Vedavit, where will he go? Like this only Yajnavalkya started, and that he has answered here. Where does Janaka go? Means he has attained this very Brahman. What does he attain means? He has attained fearlessness, which is nothing but Brahman. So Bhashyakara reminds you that tad etaduktam athavai teham tad vakshyami yatra gamishyasi iti. So he made this pratignya here. So I will tell you where you will go, correct? So that's what we have to understand here. Here he said, see, tad vakshyami yatra gamishyasi. So athavai teham tad vakshyami yatra gamishyasi. So that's what Bhashyakara again points out here, that whatever he said that I'll tell, he has now told. Yes, he has told him that you have now attained Abhaya. Abhaya is where such a person will go or attain. Again, going and attaining and all is only figurative here. Understand that. It is accomplishing the accomplished, basically. That's what you will accomplish, but it is accomplishing the accomplished. And then what does Janaka say? Saho vacha Janakaha Vaidehaha Abhayameva Tvam api gachatu. So Janaka tells Yajnavalkya, you also may you accomplish this Abhaya or gain this Abhaya. Yes Tvam Naha Asman He Yajnavalkya Bhagavan Pujavan Abhayam Brahma Vedayase Nyapayasi Prapitavan. So the one who taught us, correct? Hey Yajnavalkya, who is Bhagavan for us, who is worshipful. Bhagavan here means one who is worthy of worship, one who has taught us this Abhayam Brahma. So here Bhashyakara has taken Abhayam as Brahma only. You can see here. See, Abhayam Brahma Vedayase Nyapayasi Prapitavan, the one who has made us accomplish this Brahman, which is of the nature of fearlessness itself. And you have taught us, so may you also gain this, he says. And again, what kind of this Brahman? Upadhikrita Ajnana Vivadhana Apanayanena. So how did he teach him means? By removing this Ajnanam. And Ajnana itself, how? Upadhikrita Ajnana. So what is the distance between the Samsari and the Mukta Purusha? The distance or the separation. Vyavadhana here is basically something which separates you from whatever you want to achieve, correct? But in this case, since it is accomplishing the accomplished, the only separation is ajnanam. Ajnanam alone is the separation. Ajnana vyavadhana alone is there. And how did it come about? Because you identified with the upadhi. The upadhi, instead of being in your own glory, you went ahead and identified wrongly with the upadhi and took on the upadhi dharma, and that is the samsara, correct? So that itself is ajnana only. Due to ajnana only, you identified with the upadhi, but that ajnana has been apanayana means it has been removed, it has been destroyed for you. By destroying this ajnana, okay, this veil of ignorance is there, correct? The ignorance which is covering your true nature, that ignorance has been removed. Apanayana has happened. In this manner only you have given us this knowledge. But still he wants to give something else, correct? He has said already, you also may you have this abhaya, means already Yajnavalkya has that. Whatever he has only a start Yajnavalkya also. Sorry, Janaka also. But now continuing what? Kim anyad aham vidya nishkriyartham prayachami. So what else I can give you in return for this knowledge, he says. Correct? What else I can give you? Because you have given me this knowledge. What will I give back in return? In fact, what have you given? Sakshad Atmanameva Dattavate. You have given my very self. I thought I am a limited individual. Now you have revealed that I am the limitless conscious being, the self of all. That's what you have taught me. You have given me the limitless itself. So what can I give you in return for this? Therefore, what he first does, namaskara, ataha, namaste stu. So I am doing namaskara to show my gratitude. So that is why it is said that with Guru there is no Advaita Bhava. Understand that. You can have Advaita Bhava with reference to the entire world. But when the Guru is there, you should not say, where is Guru, where is Sishya? No. With the Guru, you have to, there is Advaita Bhava has to be there. You have to do Namaskara. You have to show respect. So Ataha Namaste Stu. And then what does he say? He gives the entire Vaideha, correct? Videha Desha. Ime Videhaha Tava Yatheshtam Bujyantam. You take this entire kingdom of Videha, whatever you want, you enjoy in this. As though Yajnavalkya doesn't want to enjoy anything really. Understand that. And also not only that, Ayam cha aham asmi dasa bhave sthitaha. So, me also, I have also, you take me also, because I am like your servant. I have attained this dasa bhava, he says. I am established in this dasa bhava. I am at your service, he says. And so you can also tell me to do whatever you want. So my empire, the entire empire also you take. So yateshtam mam rajyam cha, he says. Pratipadyasva. So you take me also and the entire empire, whatever you want. Pratipadyasa ityarthaha. So he has given the entire thing like this. So iti chaturthadhyasya dvitiyam brahmanam. So this second brahmana also is over, where again through the avasthatraya viveka, Yajnavalkya taught Janaka the Atma Swarupa, and in the process he has attained Abhayam. And the most important thing here is knowledge alone is moksha. There is no gap. There is nothing else to be done. Once you know, you attain moksha. That part here is very important, correct? That Abhayam Praptosi, this is quoted also by Bhashyakara in different places. Abhayam vai Janaka Praptosi iti. Hey Janaka, you have indeed gained fearlessness. And for that, Janaka did not do anything. All he had to do was know his true nature as it is. That's it. And also the story also tells you certain things about Guru Dakshina and all that. So even though he is the king and he has an entire kingdom at his disposal. He is ready to give all that to his guru. That also shows a certain attitude of the Shishya to the guru. All these things we saw in this Brahmanam. Okay, the next Brahmana will start from next week. Titiya Brahmana onward, this is one of the biggest Brahmana in Brhadaranyaka. It is called Swayam Jyoti Brahmanam or Jyoti Brahmanam, where again another occasion Yajnavalkya goes to Janaka. And as soon as Janaka sees Yajnavalkya, he asks this question. So, in fact, that question is there here. See, Kim Jyotihi Ayam Purushaha iti, like this he asks. So that's why this is called Jyotihi, Jyotir Brahmanam or Swayam Jyoti Brahmanam, because Atma is revealed here as the self-effulgent one. And it's very big, 38 Vakyas are there, and many of the highly quoted Vakyas from Brhadaranyaka are there in this. And in some places, Bhashyakara also has written a lot of Bhashya, you can see here. So very interesting Brahmanam. We'll start this from next week. So here we are finishing the Kurcha Brahmanam. The first Brahmanam was called Shadacharya Brahmanam. The second Brahmana is called Kurcha Brahmanam. From next week, we'll take up this Swayam Jyoti Brahmanam. Okay. Okay. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.